Hi there, welcome back to another week of Counter-Strike game and skin market update. This is SkinomiCS2, and this video covers the 17th to 23rd of November 2025. Starting with our usual Armory Pass update, all ROI are down again this week. Now, only 4 collections are profitable to redeem, and even then, they are barely making returns. Skin market confidence is down along with both crypto and equity markets, and when combined with bot farms pumping out new items, it means lower returns. The M4 Solitude, which was removed last week, fell as well. However, the limited edition items falling in price after removal has been consistent for the 3rd time now, so no surprises here. Moving into the Budapest Major starting tomorrow, I want to give a quick overview of the first stage in this video. The top 8 teams by ranking are below. Whilst FaZe are the clear favourites of this stage, they typically warm up slowly into a tournament. Legacy made a deep run into the last major, so no surprises seeing them as the 2nd highest ranked team here. In addition, NIP make a long-awaited return to a major. The bottom 8 teams by ranking are now shown. The Huns is the worst team on paper, followed by the Rare Atoms. These are also the most picked teams to go 0-3 in the event. However, NRG just made an announcement that their captain, Nitro, will not be attending the major to care for the birth of his child. He is to be replaced by their coach Daps. Hence, here is my pick for the stage, as well as what the ranking model predicts on the left. Although I honestly think, given the number of surprises we have received in the past 3 majors, just selecting random will not be the worst option. Other creators' picks also overlap with me for the most part, although as much as I would like to support my fellow countryman FlyQuest, their recent performance has not been encouraging. Moreover, here are predictions by different AI models on who will win the major. I think it is too early to tell right now. Following a large quantity of rejected signatures as was reported last week, FlameZ showed his original design. I think Valve needs to clarify what the problem is going into the next major, as this is becoming a prevalent issue with everyone second guessing the guidelines. For the upcoming Annual Game Awards on the 11th of December, Counter-Strike was nominated for the Best Esport title this week. ZywOo was nominated for the Best Esport Athlete. I have my doubts whether either of them will win their respective categories. It is nevertheless nice seeing our community getting recognition. On to less positive news. Trainwrecks, a famous streamer, lost over $5 million wagering against Furia in last week's Blast Rivals final. Some say he was playing with house money, as he is sponsored by the platform he was wagering from. Regardless, this is a good example of why this is a bad idea, although he is probably rich enough to not care.
No, Nico needs to retire. I'm saying right now, Nico needs to retire. Tessus needs to never touch Counter-Strike again, and Q Sake needs to go back to school and never play video games again.
Gabe, the owner of Valve, was reported to have received delivery of his new yacht worth over $500 million this week. The boat is used for both his personal luxury as well as research for his new company Inkfish, which does marine studies. Finishing off the headlines of this week, we have some stats on the split of the M4A4 and the M4A1S in Faceit and Premiere. The A1S still dominating most games, which does go some way in explaining their generally higher skin prices. Interestingly, the use of the A4 is statistically significantly higher in Premiere, which may mean higher skilled players prefer the A1S. Finally, let's move on to our weekly craft idea. I have a relatively simple craft this week. By using 2 T-Track glitters from the recent 2025 community sticker collection, you can craft an orange heart. The cost for this is just over 50 cents US, which is quite affordable. On a side note, I never realized that there was a mask in the center of this sticker until now. Switching gears to market analysis, the SkinomiCS2 Index, which contains a list of items I use to represent the market, declined by another 2.07% this week. Market confidence is definitely not high, and this is in line with other investments including the AI-hyped stock market. The eSport Fire Index, which contains a list of 300 high-valued liquid items, also slightly declined. We are almost at the previous low apart from the crash set on the 13th this month. Moving on to the buff value of trade and trade volume data, sourced from the cheap instant skin trading site iTrade.gg. Volume was quite constant this week with nothing significant to report. SteamDT's total value and volume data validates this trend. We are well below 3 million trades per day now, with the value of trade under $2 million US. Now, let's break the skin market movements this week down into categories. Starting off with knives and gloves, we've seen drops across the board here, with the exception of the vanilla Ursus. Higher tiered weapon skins were also down this week. The Deagle Blaze was the outlier in this category. Agent skins were down significantly this week, which was not great. Last but not least, the affordable weapon segment were down as well, apart from the covert still climbing to meet the prices of knives. Moving on, the CS2 player base edged up slightly with people coming back for the Major. The case unboxing numbers trended down to 9 million this week. These numbers are still inaccurate due to the number of new trade-ups. Nevertheless, this data provides us with an indication that there are less trade-ups being performed. Non-active case prices dropped massively this week with the lower confidence in the market. There is also still fear from Valve messing with the current case system. Active cases suffer the same fate but worse. All active cases endured a drop of more than 5% in addition to the double-digit drops last week. Let's now take a glimpse at this week's biggest winners and losers. In the winners, a couple stickers no doubt popular with the sticker slabs took 2 spots, whilst an obscure old souvenir skin from the cash collection took the other. On the inverse, a couple stickers which have recently done quite well fell substantially, and the UMP Blaze, which is a trade-up feeler, dropped as well. Onto the top trades of the week, also sourced from the skin trading site iTrade.gg. Buff's top trade was a Titan Holo. This actually sold in the week before when the sticker slab update dropped, but due to the delay in data it is showcased this week. Besides, a factory new pair of Hedge Mace and a Wild Lotus made up the top 3. On CS Float, the top trade included a Seas Souvenir Dragon Lore infield tested for 38,000, a Cato 14 Challenger capsule for 20,000, and a Wild Lotus for just under 18,000. In game news, there was only one minor patch this week which fixed a wiggle issue with the SG556 deployment, although it wasn't quite obvious to me personally. Now onto the pro scene. There aren't any tier 1 tournaments as we head into the Major. However, there were quite a few transfers, especially as it related to teams that failed to qualify for the Major. Wildcard released their entire roster, but the team is not quitting Counter-Strike. 9Z signed a new duo to complete another Argentinian core. 500 officially signed Cypher from Fnatic. And Kryzen reportedly signed his contract with Heroic. Please do check out my Patreon. I am still open to skin donations and a reminder to join my Discord. Please like, share and subscribe. On that bombshell, that was all. See you next time.